And so for the first time, I was really just by myself alone. And it was really hard. Um, I had to worry about paying all my bills. Now I got a car note, got insurance, I got my rent, the utilities, I got to buy all my food. And it was like my first time really getting thrown into that, I guess. I had never worked a job before I had got out there. Um, so it was like everything just hit me all at once. And it was a lot to handle. And I remember calling my mom, like, I just can't do this. It's too much for me to handle. Um, and it was really bad. I guess the way I got out of it um, was just talking to people and realizing that I'm not the first person to go through it, and that it doesn't have to be that way. If I need help, I can ask somebody for help. If I need somebody to talk to, I can go and talk to somebody. I don't have to be stuck in that place. I don't have to feel like that. Um, so yeah, that was my experience.
Hmm. What about you, Jay?
I mean, I don't think I've ever thought about suicide. It's like John said, yo, there's just too much to live for.
Hmm.
So much you haven't tried, so much you've even been through. You know, it's I mean, like I've given up on little stuff like, oh, people, it's like, yo, you're just a lost cause. I don't need you around anymore, and just like walk away from it. But like I've always, since like I want to say like 11 or 12, I had my mind set on what I wanted to do, and I still have my mind set on that process. So I feel like I'm far from giving up. It's just one of those things you how I was raised. Like on my mom's side, I got a bunch of aunts. There's just like great independent women just doing the right thing, doing great things. And then on my dad's side, he has all brothers. So I got a bunch of uncles just headstrong and just refuse to fail. So like I have a lot to like look up to and a lot to pick from and see, hey, it's you can do anything basically. You don't got to do this. You can go this route, this route, this route. Just be strong with it.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Well, I can't say that that's my testimony. Um, on a completely 100% real note, I actually considered it. As you know that I am a big personality, right? I know I say that a lot. And I like doing things. I like being around people. But at one point in college, I found myself kind of stuck in between failing in college, getting kicked out, coming back to school, not really having a place to be. I was an RA at the time, and my relationships weren't going well during that. Like I didn't have a whole lot of friends. I spent a lot of time drinking and making some poor decisions that could have caused a lot of issues. Right. Um, in the previous hall that I lived in, where I wasn't an RA, um, one of the guys on my floor actually ended his life by jumping out of the window of an 11th floor room. And, I saw this with some of my friends as we were walking to the dorm. And so for me, it was just like, oh, wow, that just happened. But a year later, I found myself in a situation where it was like, okay, dude, you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you're not happy in school. Your relationships are on the fence. You've just lost a great paying RA position that they won't renew your contract for next year. And this is you just started the winter like you just started the winter semester and you already know that you won't be coming and getting paid to stay as an RA. And I found myself in a very low state where I was literally drinking every night, and I would go to class when I felt like it. Um, and one night it was just like, okay, look, what are you doing this for? Like, you had all these dreams and they not coming together right now. You wanted to be graduated. You've gotten kicked out of school already. Like, you're not even on the path that you're supposed to be in. What are you doing? And I couldn't validate it. And I tried to I tried to find the reasons behind it, the reasons why, and you know, at that point, it just seemed so much easier to stop worrying about everything and just ending it. Um, and it's hard. For me, it's on one end, it's hard to talk about, right? It's because it's a very real spot that when you find yourself as a brother, right? Like not a whole lot of people to talk to, not anybody around, and um, I'll never forget one of the saving graces that even to this day I thank God for was I wasn't big on checking my mail, right? But when I checked my mail, there was, often either bills or something, some spam or something. But my mom, J3 and my mom, would every now and again send a card or something just saying, "Hey, was thinking about you and I love you." And I'll never forget this card came. It was February 8th. And it said, "Son, you know what? You are the one that made me a mom. And I thank God every day for you. And the earth is your oyster. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to put your hands to do, you can do it." And so for me on that day, it was just that little bit of something that I needed to say, okay, there is more in this life for me. And so every day I am thankful for my mom. I'm thankful for God because if it wasn't for, him being in her and sending that just reminder that you are loved, that you are important, that you're special, that there's more to you than what you find yourself in right now, uh, it could have been a different situation. And I may not be able to hear to talk to you all and share with you all and just encourage you all, and being a big brother to you all, right? And it's funny. Like in February, that happened to me. In March, it was March 15th, the Ides of March, for some book scholars, that one of my residents attempted to take his life. Like in the moment. It was a Saturday. We were hanging out, a bunch of us in the hall, just chilling, and and we were talking, and saw him come in. Didn't think of anything else of it. Um, he was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to. I'm not feeling well. I'm going to my room. Cool. The next thing we know, he had thrown a belt over one of the big loops in the hallway and had pushed the chair from under him, like while we were in the hallway. And so immediately we jumped into action, like, "Hey, nope, this can't happen, not on our hall." And so we ran, we cut the belt, the whole nine. We ended up staying with him, of course. Ambulance and things and so forth were called. But thankfully, he is alive today, kicking and doing amazing things in the financial district. But for me, if I would have done one thing once, I may not have been there to do something else. And so I am thankful to God every day that it was a totally different way. While my mind was wrong in that moment, while my thoughts escaped me and would say, "Hey, give up," I was able to do something great with that after it. So, kind of a follow up to that. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your friends wanted to just give up? Like you had a friend that said, "Hey, I'm really, I'm either contemplating this extreme or I'm just not well. I'm just not doing well." You know, have you ever been in that situation, and how did you help or deal with it?
Hmm. Um, I don't know if they would per se be on the lines of go ahead and just um, do suicide, but they did show traits that they definitely needed some help. And this was back in high school. It was one of the classmates, and he was on one of the sports teams as well. And he showed up to, class every day. We talked, all the time because we sat right next to each other. And we had lunch, and he sat on table like right next to me, so we were always, yo, what's up, how you doing, I'll see you in class. And then we always, chopped it up in class. But then one class, it was just very, very off. Like the whole class was just off. And he had his backpack on the desk, and he was talking about some things at work. But most of the times that we talked, it was always joking and sarcastic, like the playful kind of manner. But this time I couldn't tell if he was joking or not. Like the words that he was saying, it sounded sarcastic, but I was just like, I feel like you're not joking right now, bro. Like I feel like it's totally off. And then he was just like, you know what, John, I'm about to show you something. And I'm thinking, boy, you got something in that backpack. we about to be running. No, we about to be squaring off, because this was the era of when people were starting to go in schools and shoot everything up. And I'm like, bro, like we were having a whole nice conversation. We just had lunch. And now you just went, dark zero 30 on me and just got serious. And now you're talking about something. I'm about to show you something. And I'm trying to make sure, if he does pull something out, I can protect someone else. But he pushed his backpack off to the side, and then he pulled his sleeves down, and you just see all these like knife marks on his arms. And I'm like, dude, like what is going on? And you can tell like this is not, you know this isn't the first time, because you can see the old flesh wounds. And it was just like, I don't know how the teacher and everyone else didn't see it, but it was just like, in that moment it was just me and him. Like there was no one else paying attention to our conversation. Because I mean, in the classroom, you can tend to hear people's conversations on the side. But besides, he pulled his arms down because he's always wearing long sleeves. He rolled his arms up all slowly. Everyone can see what he's doing, but no one paid attention. And you see, like, I kid you not, it was like 20 marks lined up on each arm. And you can see that it was still kind of fresh because there was still blood dripping down. And I'm like, okay, how do I talk to him without, getting in trouble, getting kicked out of class? But I'm just like, okay, right now, I don't know who to call. I'm not going to call the teacher, because at the time he didn't like the teacher, and I'm not going to call someone that you don't like and don't want to talk to. But also, I can't just call a hotline in class, because one, we're in school, but two, how much do those hotlines really work? I've never used them, so I don't have any. Oh yeah, you can call up this hotline so they can talk to you, but they're probably gonna, oh, you're insane. I'm gonna put you in the insane asylum, and who knows, where he's gonna go after that. But I'm just like, all right, I gotta connect on him with a level that is gonna calm him down and show him that, bro, like I care about you, and I just want you to stop doing this. Even though in the back of my mind, I'm just like, get away with me. This is not cool. But I have to let that die down and be like, all right, no, like your health is number one right now. So let's talk this through and get this together before you do something after school where I'm not, around you. So I've never dealt with anyone that's on the level of suicide, but they've shown that trait that could, essentially lead to giving up.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't dealt with any friends that want to commit suicide, but I just wanted to say that it's crazy how God does something for you, and then you think it's for yourself, but He's really setting you up to help somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said in your story, Andre, yeah, God told your mom to send you this letter. She didn't think anything of it, but it helped you. And then you thought that, oh, God was doing that just for me. Maybe God was going to bring you out of it all along anyways, but He needed to bring you out so that you can be there for that other guy
Mm-hmm.
to save him. Because
Right.
maybe he didn't have a mom that could send him a letter that would bring him out of that. Like maybe he really needed you at that time. So it's really crazy how God works and how He does things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All day. All day. What about you, Jay, Jason? Have y'all dealt with any of that or no?
No, I don't think I've ever had a friend that I physically knew that was going through such a bad time that they contemplated. But I did have friends that I seen that they were struggling. And I was like, yo, just know I can help you. I'm here to help. Just let me know what I can do for you. It's just say something. But I don't think I've ever had friends that just was like so down they thought about killing themselves that I know of.
Gotcha.
Me, I'd say no, but I'm not entirely sure. Like I had two coworkers, different jobs. They would say, "Oh, I feel like just ending it," or "I cut myself," and then they don't have any cuts on their arm.
Mm,
Like sometimes that's not stuff to joke about.
mm,
Like there's some associates, but one of them they felt like a black sheep in the family, wanted to end it, and I would just be like, don't, like I try to console them and everything. I don't know who that person is now, but they did show some signs of suicide at that point.
mm,
Like they constantly every day just talk about that.
mm. Okay. Okay. So how do you all we got a few more minutes and we got two more. So let's run through them and we'll hit them. How does the church in your mind deal with mental health?
That's tricky. Uh, I don't really know if there's something that they specifically do. One thing I know, since I was talking about hotlines, I know everyone now has to put any kind of hotline out, so that way if people feel alone or if they need to talk to someone that can help them, they have to put that hotline out so that they can at least go to someone that is, I guess, on the professional standard level.
Mhm.
But on a level of just like in your community, I don't know. I'm not aware. I know people just say, watch and pray and do all that. The honestly the kind of the basic stuffs of making sure you talk to God to seek guidance and all that stuff. But the only other thing that I can really think of is just making sure that you're hospitable to someone and talk to them and get to know them and develop a bond with them, so that way if there is something that you see in them that is off, you can immediately just go to it and just be like, all right, let's talk, or let's drop this. I'm an elder, and you're supposed to pray to me and bow. Like, no, 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 no. We're humans. Let's hash this out together, so that way we can be cordial, and because your health and well being is more important um, than anything else at this point in time. So that's the only thing that I know of, unless we got some anointed hands and minds.
Uh, like Johnson, I think that the church really just says to pray about it, seek God, and He'll give you direction. He'll clear your mind up. He'll take away that depression and the thoughts of suicide. Um, but I feel like sometimes, yes, prayer is always the answer, but sometimes you have to do something more than just pray. Like something that may work for you is go and talk to somebody. Maybe you need to see a therapist if that's something that you need. It's something like, yes, pray, but also do other things to help yourself get better.
I think, I mean, the church, I feel like it does a great job because there's many moments I've seen and many testimonies I've heard. There's where it's like I was just sitting in church, minding my own business, going through a hard time, and deacon so and so or missionary so and so just came up and started praying with me, and that was that little bump I needed to push me out of that dark spot I was in, and I was really deep in that dark spot. That's like I've heard so many times that it's happened. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. And like when you think about it, when you're really deeply rooted in God and like you're in the church, you can sort of almost look at somebody and kind of tell and kind of feel when there's like a demon on them that's about to pull them over the deep end. And just knowing that missionaries in our church and deacons in our church, they're kind of good at it. They can sense what's going on. Pastor can sense what's going on. They always check up on. They reach out their hand, and you just got to be the one to take it. So
What'd you say, Lamorning?
I didn't say anything.
You don't have anything?
Nothing.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. Um, I think the church does a good job in one reminding us to keep God at the center, right? Um, I think that there is definitely more that can be done, because sometimes talking to people in person as well can, it's interesting because God gave people knowledge, right? Knowledge on how the mind works, operates, and things like that, so that they know, okay, well, hey, how about this? We try this. Let's work through this. Now, don't be quick to jump on a medicine wagon, that some will say, oh, yeah, well, just throw medicine at it and it works every time. No, what works for you is not going to work for the next person. And I think the church does a good job at, keeping us mentally focused on God. Um, I think one of the areas of improvement, though, is realizing that there is more to it as well, right? There are some things that you can pray off easy, but there are some things that take some work, that take some effort, and that may require some medicine to kind of even things out, right? That also may take some guidance from a licensed physician, and that's one of the things that I know some pastors will say, hey, I'm not licensed in this, so you may want to talk to a professional, because of course they don't want to give you advice and you sue them because, oh, well, that advice didn't work the way they expected it to work, right? Um, and so I think for the church, there's an opportunity for improvement with having people like that on staff. Um, and I'm sure that there are people that are professionals in the church. I mean, and that's one thing that they can bring to the table. Um, and I think the last question for this episode,
Can I add
for
something real
these
quick?
3 episodes, as we've finished out this one,
But to add something real quick,
yeah, go for it. Go
I
for it.
think to kind of piggyback off of Jay and Eric, what they kind of said, uh, you know, that question is kind of hard only because it's like the church doesn't have much control over it, but mostly God does. And like Jay and Eric said, God will send something or send someone on your mind to go ahead and send a message to or call up and just be like, yo, I was thinking about you, how are you doing? And then that's that 0.0000001% that we can control, while God controls the 99.99, if not 100% of it, to lead and guide. But I think it's more so of God controlling and doing that because he works in mysterious ways, and we can only do so much as a church to be like, all right, don't forget, always pray and seek God and do all that. So I think we have a good balance between the church and God of, as a dynamic to control that. So
Yeah, no, I'll agree. They don't have a lot of power there, in that sense, right? Um, but yeah, no, I think that is that is a challenging question. It you see the benefits on the one end, and you're like, okay, well, how do we deal with it on the other? Um, so how can we support people with mental health issues, or how can we show support to friends that may be struggling, or if, say, one of us needed that assistance, how can we help?
So honestly, just being there for somebody, um, talking to them, hanging out, being around, I guess, or active enough to know when something is possibly wrong. When it's time that you can ask, hey, are you doing okay? Hey, you need anything? So I say just being there for people.
Hmm.
I feel like one thing would be is to let them know that you're there. At least, the least you can do is let them know you're there to help. I know some people, a lot of people, like males mostly, will feel like, oh, I don't need to talk to anybody. I can do this myself. Just gotta let them know, yo, yeah, you're the bro. I'm here. Just let me know if you need anything. I'm just a call away. Was one big thing that you can support, and then just kind of doing stuff with people. That would be another thing. Even if you feel uncomfortable, like you never know, it can help them. Just like do stuff for them.
Okay. J3, what about you?
yeah, pretty much just being available. especially throughout this year. This year has felt like an eternity, if you will. But it's shown that, you know, pretty much everyone is doing the same thing, sitting at home, doing work. And now, since we're opening back up, you're still able to find time to be available for a friend in need, or someone that you don't know that is dealing with something. Um, Mainly just if you're available to be there for that person, to talk and to just to open them up, I guess, because everyone's an onion at the end of the day. You just got to peel back the layers. If you're able to be with them and basically almost be their translator, if you will, that's gonna make a huge difference in helping them in their mental struggles or mental health. So just being available.
Mr. Lamorning, what do you got?
Honestly, I kind of lost track because my face disappeared on the screen. So I was trying to figure out how to turn it back on.
He was too busy surfing.
Oh, man.
Who knows?
So in this, supporting people, I like what all of you said. Being available, right? Being available, knowing that you can ask questions. Um, have you seen your face come back yet? Okay, you good? You wanna finish this up? Let us know how you can support others that might be struggling with mental issues.
If I know the person, I do try to do something that they usually like to do, and I'd probably try to get them out of their alone time as much as possible. Because if they alone, then they overthink. And like Eric was talking about earlier, I'm one of those overthinkers too.
Mm.
Like go make a whole scenario in my head if I got the time about the thing. So try to keep myself busy so I don't do that. But just get them out of that alone time so that they don't have any of those thoughts.
No, I will have to agree. Finding something that they like to do to kind of get them back into their like rhythm of things. Also, like many of you said, just being available can make all the difference in the world. Sometimes people knowing that, hey, my phone, you can call me anytime and I'm available. Look, just shoot me a note or just ring, either or. If I pick up, you got me, and you can talk as long as you need to. Or if you shoot me a text message, when I get back to you, you got my ears. Just let me know you need to talk. I think that can go a very long way for anybody that is, in those moments or in those needs of trying to, dealing with things mentally. Um, yeah. So making sure that we are available to our friends and family. And I just want to make sure that you all are aware that no matter where I find myself in life, what I'm doing, that I am available to you all. If you all ever need me, right? If y'all ever need me, call me, right? Send me a text message. If y'all ever need just somebody to, hey, this is what's going on with me. You got a moment to talk. I am always available to you all. You are my brothers. You all have different moms, except for one of you. But
Hmm.
you all are my brothers, and I treasure you all. Um, and you all are important to me. So don't ever forget that you all are available. I'm available for y'all.
That energy is returned to you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, look, family, we thank you for joining us for this Amped Up Squad podcast. We have gone easily 3 episodes in. We almost made it to 4. Maybe not. We might have to cut a little bit if we'll see what happens. But we hope that you all got something out of this conversation. You learned something about us. But you also remember to make sure that you all spend time talking to people, talking to the friends that are your friends, your family, and just seeing if people are all right. Sometimes people just need to know that you are available to them, and that can make all the difference in the world. Now, understand, please, this is our disclaimer. We are not professionals in this. Um, we are five guys that love God and love our brotherhood that we've kind of created. And we just wanted to share what is our real, genuine to us. So if at any point during this, you know that you need help, immediate help, 911 is the way to go. If you are contemplating suicide, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK or 8255. You can use that number, call it. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you need someone to talk to, go ahead. If you need to jump out to, other podcasts that are focused on mental health, there is one that I want y'all to check out for sure. 2010 Minutes. He deals with mental health. Now, he's not a professional either, but he deals with mental health because that's his focus, with a sense of humor. And he's one of our good close friends. He supports the Amped Up Squad, and we support him as well. And so check him out. He has new episodes every Tuesday. Make sure that, and we'll probably see if we can't get an interview with him just to kind of talk through some of the things that he deals with on a regular basis. But, without further ado, know that we love you here, and we want to see you here each and every time an Amped Up podcast is available. We're every Wednesday. We have a new one. It's available usually at midnight on Wednesday, and you can check it out. Also, you make sure that you find us on our YouTube channel. We are doing some new things. We have some things that are in the works right now. Some Amped Up Squad logos and gear and merch and all that stuff is on the way. So keep tuned, stay tuned. And as we're all signing off, we're here with J3, the legend Pop Rocks himself, LaMorning, and Eric McCowan. And you all know me. I'm that guy, Amped. And we hope that you all enjoy this. Make sure that you always stay amped up. Let's get it. Let's go. Woo!
Peace out.